Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
How's it going, guys? So today's video is titled The Cornerstone Teams for GAC. And what I'm going to go over here is not too much like footage of why these guys are so good. It's more of me explaining why they are so good. I don't have enough time to get and compile all of these battles for you guys, but I just want to chat about what I think and what a lot of other players I've chatted with think are some of the best Cornerstone Toons in the game for these different factions. So let's go chat about that. To start this off, we're going to just kind of go from the top of this, the filter system, and then go work our way down. So what we're going to do here first is chat about the new clones, the 501st. So out of this whole bunch, guys, this clones team, if you guys, again, haven't seen Clash's video, I've linked it in a previous video. Please go check it out. This is one of the best defensive teams I think there is right now when it comes to this GR faction. And it kind of gives you more variety of if you want to save Padme or use Padme, and kind of just, you know, you're a little bit more flexible, I guess you could say. So out of these ones, I'm chatting more about these three clones here. And honestly, I think hands down it's got to be 5s. This might be kind of early to say this because there's a lot more content that's going to be dropping here soon. But as of right now, 5s is for sure one of the cornerstone pieces to the entire team. One of the reasons being is that he has some synergy with Echo, with a wrong ability. It's this Domino Squad. It says right here when Echo's present, he has 100% defense when taunting, and he deals 100% more damage when he's not taunting. So Echo really kind of boosts up this team, and it's kind of vice versa with Echo and 5s. They kind of have the same abilities almost when it comes to that little thing there. But more importantly, this data here, tactical awareness, it says when 5s, or if 5s is defeated this way, 501st Clone Trooper allies gain his max health, protection, speed, and offense stats in addition to their own until the end of the battle. So when it says when he's defeated this way, pretty much it means when another 501st Clone Trooper is defeated, he takes the hit instead, so he dies rather, and then everybody else gets his big, huge damage, his offense, his protection, his speed, his HP, all those juicy stats. They get all of those. And if you are modding this guy for a lot of those cool stats, like these guys, your Rex and your Echo will have almost 50k, in my case, almost 50k HP, 30 or 74k extra protection, 135 extra speed, and around 3400 extra offense. So the reason why he's so good is because the extra stat boost here, guys, and the taunt here after at the end of his turn, if no one's taunting, he taunts, is awesome. I mean, this guy is got to be hands down one of the cornerstones for the 501st right now. Next up here is the bounty hunters. I did forget to mention this early on in the video, but we're not chatting about leaderships. We're not. This is teams that make your bounty hunters above and beyond when it comes to GAC, TW, stuff like that. So in the bounty hunter faction, we're not going to mention Django or Bosk. They are both leaderships. You could say, what if you're going to run Django? Then wouldn't Bosk be the cornerstone? There's just too many variations, so I'm not going to mention those two guys. But I will say, besides those two, Boba Fett's got to be the cornerstone. I mean, if you guys do not leave, or if you leave this guy unchecked and you're not going after him, this guy can do some massive damage on his execute ability. On top of that, he has an AoE with ability blocks and really just can stunt your team in like the efficiency of what you're doing and make it a lot tougher on yourself. And on top of that, he gets a revive. Same with Jango Fett. So I definitely think that this guy right here, the Boba Fett, he does kind of boost the team above and beyond. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about leadership in this video, so I really think this guy performs very, very well when partnered with everybody else in the team. All right, so there is the Droid faction and then there's the Separatist faction. We're going to chat about two different teams with that, but for the Droid faction, I'm going to say B1 is really, really important in a lot of different droid teams with Grievous. The fact of the Zeta being able to have more droid battalions, you have 100 now, is really, really strong. Being able to get the more cleanses off with the Blasphemy ability is huge. And the big heal you can get on Grievous is amazing. And we're going to chat about kind of this one right now, and then later on we'll chat about the Separatist team, because I do find there's a better cornerstone guy in the Separatist team rather than B1. And some of these, let me just tell you guys right now, some of these characters, there's multiple different cornerstones, so we'll actually hit up on some of them. But there are some factions that are really just standing out Toons that are really just the major cornerstone Toons. So I would like to say B1 is probably the most cornerstone Toon in the droid faction, especially when partnering with Grievous lead. Okay, so next up here we got the EP team with Vader. This one we kind of had some chat on. Vader and Thrawn are the two that come to my mind, okay? Vader is the engine to the team, so having a fast Vader, applying the dots and the speed down, getting the saber throw off, generating the TM is really, really important here. But it's not as important as you guys think. Thrawn brings a lot more to the table with his TM swap, with his fracture, a lot more, you know, being able to control the team, a lot more control in this Toon. And it's really hard to say if one's better than the other. It really depends on who you're fighting. But overall, I would say Thrawn is for sure the cornerstone, and he really boosts up the faction just immensely. This guy has been in the game for a while now, and he's just amazing. You guys should really work on this guy if you don't have him. So that's the one for this faction, for the Empire. All right, so Ewoks, this is a pretty simple one and straightforward. Paploo. Paploo is a really, really key guy here. His unique gives him 25% more speed. So you just kind of add up all the speed here, 191 plus 25%. He's going to be pretty fast. I did used to have mine close to 300 speed a little bit ago. And just, you know, having that speed with his tanks, or with his taunts rather, with his call to assist and his dispel on basic, this guy kind of just brings the Ewok faction all together, and he is your cornerstone for trying to eat up all the hits. And honestly, having him fastest, using his ability to call an assist, calling it on log grade can give all your Ewoks 100% TM before the team even goes. So for sure in the Ewoks is Paploo. Alright, so next up here is the First Order faction. You kind of can say both Kylo Ren, the OG version, and the FOST, the Stormtrooper, they kind of are similar, but when you're talking about you know, how efficient they are and like what they bring to the table in this team, Kylo Ren just kind of kills it. I mean, his lash out ability is going to be used all the dang time. The reason being is because every time he gets like a dot from him using his specials, he's going to reset his cooldowns immediately, and he can just keep on spamming his lash out, giving out more TM. And the AI uses this all the freaking time. I mean, you get 25% TM for the First Order allies, and then another 25% if they have advantage. A lot of TM game. And on top of that, he has the reduced damage to the healing percent damages, kind of like a Malik, kind of like the crew. And then if you have a Zeta on Outrage, you get the protection back equal to the damage dealt. So, and you get a stun as well. And on top of that, on the basic, you get healing immunity and damage over time. So this guy, he is going to generate the most TM in the team. He's going to be the tankiest one and the hardest one to kill. This guy's got to be in your team if you want to have a solid First Order. All right, so next up, we're going to chat about the Padme team. This is the GR faction. The team we're talking about is the one that I like to use a lot, which is Padme, GK, Anakin, 3PO, and Ahsoka. This is really for countering Maliks. If you don't want to run 3PO and you want to counter a different team that's not Malik, you can throw in somebody else like Barriss. But out of that team, out of those 5, GK is 100% hands down the most versatile guy, and if you don't have him, your team is going to be exposed to the you know, bigger damage hits from the other team. And the reason being why you need this guy in the team is for his Zeta unique. Pretty much it says if everybody on the team is a GR ally, he gains taunt for 1 turn whenever a protection up is if somebody loses protection up rather, and that is going to happen a lot of times when they're in the Padme team. The Padme is all about protection up, and that Zeta kind of just fits in perfectly almost. And on top of that, he has a very, very high HP protection pool, and his whole kit is just really amazing. The foresights, all that sort of stuff, assists, cleansing, it's just amazing. This guy is hands down a necessity for the Padme team. All right, so next up, we're going to chat about the Geos. This one you guys might disagree with me on, okay? Again, we're not talking about leaders in this video. So that leaves us with 4 other Geos. And this kind of was between Spy and Sunfac. A lot of these guys in this Cornerstone team are, like, a lot of them are tanks, and especially tanks with taunts. And that's kind of why I'm more towards Sunfac rather than Spy. Having a very beefy Sunfac not only makes him harder to kill, but in addition to that, he has, with his uniques in the Hive Tactics, whenever he gains a taunt, he gains all these buffs, and whenever he loses it, the Geos gain the exact buffs. And on top of that, he has some extra potency whenever he attacks out of turn, which is happening all the freaking time. He counters and he inflicts debuffs on his basic. And if you guys want to know why that's so important, is that Spy in his kit, he gets TM based on the fact of another Geo inflicting debuffs. So Sunfac and Spy are like best buddies, and if you don't have Sunfac and you have Spy, your team is going to not generate as much TM. And on top of that, like I said, that the taunt and how tanky of a guy he is, really, in my mind, this guy is a cornerstone for the Geo team. Alright, so for the cornerstone toon in the Trooper team, this one is something that I wish I had. This guy can just transform the entire faction just immensely. There is so much to this guy's kit. This guy is Range Trooper, by the way. His basic deals more damage if he's buffed. On top of that, for his special, he gives out Protection Up and Retribution, which is awesome. And then another random ally attacks and Range Trooper assist. There's a lot of assist in this guy's kit. That's the main thing here. This is it right here. He has more tenacity while he's buffed. While he is active, Imperial Trooper allies have a 50% chance to get called into assist. Or it's rather when they're buffed, they get called into assist, dealing a little bit less damage. But guys, when you're talking about modding your troopers for a lot of DPS and a lot of CD, CC, and offense, this guy's got to be there. This team actually can counter a lot of different variations. It can counter Ewoks, it can counter Night Sisters, it can counter some Bounty Hunter teams even. Gives you a lot of banners as well, because of when you kill somebody with the leadership on Veers, you get protection, and that's really big here. So for sure here in this faction, it's got to be Range Trooper. Alright, this one is stupid easy for me to pick. Jedi, JKR team, Jolie Bindo, what else can you say? Instant revive everybody. Where is this dude? Come on, I mean, this guy can just immediately revive every single Jedi that was killed. I mean, it's just too good to not have. On top of that, you can't get crit almost any time. I mean, he's got immediate crit immunity with his unique, if I can find it here. Yeah, just crazy. You can't kill this guy, and if you do kill one of his buddies, he revives him immediately. So this guy is easily the cornerstone for the Jedi team. Alright, so this one's pretty interesting as well. This is for Night Sisters, guys. This is quite advanced, though. This one is actually Spirit. The reason it's not Zombie or Daka is because when you implement Spirit with an Asajj Ventress lead, again, these kind of vary depending on what team you're running, but in this particular team, if you have Asajj and you have a Zombie and all those other guys ready and being able to use, this chick right here, this Night Sister Spirit, brings a lot to the table and can counter a lot of different teams, especially on defense, and can just kind of neuter a lot of the counters to the team. Reason being is that, you know, first and foremost is that she's fast. On top of that, she gains Foresight at the end of each of her turns and at the start of her encounter. And then as on top of that, if you want to even know more, she has 100% offense and her attacks ignore armor when she has Foresight, which is going to be all the time. The reason this is such a good character to add is because on defense, a lot of the people like running the Traya and the Triumvirate teams, right? And this kind of counters that to an extent. This chick can deal a lot of crazy just base damage, no crits really. She can hit quite hard. Mine right now is at 5.2k offense. This can do some massive damage versus Scions, versus Treyas, all those sort of stuff. If this chick gets a big hit on Scion before he gets held by Hatred off, you will win, guaranteed. There is nothing to be said about this. On top of that, if you're running Asajj Ventress lead, there is more TMR and a lot more being able to just kind of piss off the enemy. They can't really do much of anything. They're just stuck behind an endless loop of TM, because on the basic, she removes the TM and then she gains exactly what she removed. And on top of that, she has a stun and a dispel. I mean, this is a great character, and it really just bolsters up this faction immensely, guys. Alright, next up is going to be the Old Republic team. It's not going to be Canderous, even though Canderous is quite important to this team. It's actually going to be Zhoubar. The reason being is Zhoubar and Mission have a quite important synergy with each other, but having a tank in here, like I said, a lot of these guys are tanks. Being able to have a lot of crit avoidance, he's not going to be able to get crit a whole lot. And on top of that, he is just beefy as you can get him. And also, the tenacity is quite high as well. This team is going to be under Karth lead, so with the leadership, let's see what you get. You get 30% potency, tenacity, and CA for each Old Republic ally. Or that's what Old Republic allies get, rather. So keeping that in mind, you can really boost this guy up for a lot of crit avoidance, a lot of tenacity, and make him so he's going to taunt all the freaking time, and it's just amazing, guys. On top of that, he has extra defense whenever he is hit, and if you come down here to Missions Guardian, it says when another ally falls below 100% HP, Zhoubar gains taunt and retribution for 2 turns. So again, the taunt will just stick around for a very, very long time here, guys. And on a special as well, he gains taunt as well. So the taunts are going to stick and stick and stick around for a long time. So this guy's for sure the cornerstone for this team. All right, so next up, we're going to chat about the Rebels. Rebels are interesting. There's a lot of different teams you can make out of this, but the one I'm going to chat about more importantly is the CLS, Chewie, Han. Those guys with R2 and 3PO. That team right there, guys, you can beat a lot of different teams. You can beat a Malik team. You can beat a JKR team. Let me rephrase that with a Malik. You can beat with CLS, Han, Chewie with 3PO. You can add in like a Thrawn in there. You can beat a Malik team. And there's some other videos going around that you can beat. You can use CLS to beat the Maliks with. But with those guys in mind, the one out of those 5, it's got to be 3PO. I mean, having the ability to inflict exposes when a rebel is using their basics is huge. Doing more damage is awesome. Just kind of working down these guys like Traya, like JKR, like Yoda, stuff like that is huge. On top of that, he inflicts more exposes on his basic and confuse. Awesome stuff. They can't, when they have 2 stacks, they can't counter, they can't assist, they can't gain TM. Just awesome. And on top of that, he has a call to assist. So there is a lot in this guy's kit. I mean, if you see, this guy has a lot of different uniques. There is really nobody else here that can compete with this guy. And when you're talking about running these guys offensively / defensively. Another really easy choice here for me to choose BB-8 for the Resistance, guys. What can I say? I mean, being able to spread a lot of these the Sacred Intel rather, to your team, and JTR getting the TM from these pretty much ensures you to get first turns all the freaking time. And on top of that, his Zeta, you can, whenever he's attacking on a turn, he calls around an assist on a Resistance ally. It's awesome, guys. And then later on down the line, you can get this Destiny off. It's amazing. This guy has got to be on your team if you want to run any Resistance, in my opinion. And on top of that, he's probably the most important. So there you guys have it. All right, so we're going to now chat about the Scoundrels. And this team we're going to cover is the Kira team with L3, Vandor, Chewie, Young Han, and pretty much whatever else you can throw in, like Young Lando or maybe even Enfys Nest. So in that team, we're going to chat about one. And the one here that I think is the most useful and for sure going to be the cornerstone is L3. Mine is not good at all, so I can't really say too much about her, but if you look at her kit, she can just dispel all these debuffs on herself, and her taunt is going to stick around for a while. On top of that, you have Vandor Chewie there with a revive. If she does happen to die, boom, she gets revived instantly, and she is just really pain in the butt to go around. She's very similar to Zhoubar in the sense where the taunt's going to stick around for a while. And if you don't, kill the other guys around him, or around her in this instance, it's going to be really hard to win that battle. So for sure, L3 is going to be the cornerstone for me in this faction. All right, so we talked about B1 and the droids a little bit earlier. We're going to come back to the Separatist team. And the team we're going to chat about here is a Grievous lead with B1, B2, Magna, and Newt. Okay, I know my boy Fatal. If you guys haven't checked out his channel is actually the playbook. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. Same with Clash. And his team, he optimized it, and he's in my arena as well. His team is disgusting, and the reason why it's so good is pretty much Newt Gunray. I mean, partnering him with B1 in the early turns and the early debuffs, his Zeta is very, very clutch. I really want to get this one soon. What it says is whenever a Separatist ally inflicts debuff, they also deal 5% of their max HP, and it can't be evaded. So a lot of debuffs are on this team. You get debuffs from his, extortion. You get debuffs on the target locks. Speed down is going to be happening there as well. And then just a lot of a buff mini from B2. So the HP is going to be just draining the other team with all of the debuffs, especially with Newt's lead here, guys. So I think Newt just transforms his faction immensely. Droided cut is not cut it. I mean, when you implement Newt in this team, it's just ridiculous. And I will leave a link to his video as well. He does a great job explaining it and going over this team. So go check it out, guys. All right, so for this Sith team, we're chatting about the Triumvirate here. This team can 3v5 a lot of different teams. They can 3v5 the Geos, the Sisters, and other lower tier teams here. So Traya, Scion, Nihilus. Out of those three, which ones do I think is going to be the most important? Well, it's really only about Scion or Nihilus. Traya is a leadership here, and honestly, it's got to be Scion. I mean, like I said, this whole video is about tanks almost. This guy has a taunt from his unique here. If they have pain, he gains taunt. This is a Zeta. It pretty much states whenever his or at the end of each turn, he inflicts pain whenever somebody hits him on that target, and just kind of stacking that up. Whenever people are hitting him, he's going to reduce his cooldown on Held by Hatred, and guys, he can revive himself instantly. This guy is amazing. Honestly, if you're thinking about a great tank all around in the game, this guy is annoying as heck. Plus, he's a Sith. He just synergizes amazing with the Triumvirate here, guys. Got a mass AoE dispel. He can get some more pains here, and he can get some more HP protection back from this hit when he hits a what's it called, pained ally, or a pained enemy rather. So this guy's for sure going to be the cornerstone in my opinion here. Last but not least, guys, is your favorite faction in the game. It is the Sith Empire, and more importantly, it's going to be covering the Malik DR team. So I guess you guys already know which one this is. This is pretty straightforward here. Malik, I mean, you can't say anything about it, guys. Malik has got to be there. I mean, you got two Zetas here. He gets a taunt whenever somebody's shocked or feared, and then whenever he falls below these certain HP pools, he gets bonus turns, and he gets an easy drain life, which is a one-shot. This guy, if you have him in this team, can just do wonders for you guys. I mean, it's just ridiculously awesome. So yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. It's going to be Malik. Again, a taunt. He's really hard to kill, and if you don't focus the people around him, he's going to just go popping off. So for sure, got to go for Malik in this team. So guys, this is going to wrap up this video. This video is going to be quite long, I know, but I thought I would show this and share you guys some of my ideas with this whole cornerstone, I guess you could say, Toons in the game with certain teams and factions. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, give it a like and share it around. And if you guys are new here, please leave me a sub. We do a lot of videos on this game, so I love doing them. I'll continue doing them. Just let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys don't agree with me on some of these different teams, some of these different factions. Just let me know in the comments below. That's it for today's video. If you guys want to, go check out my Discord. Go check out my Patreon. Link is all in the description below, guys, as well as the other links for the other content creators that I mentioned in this video. That's it today, though, for my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you later.